All right, let's get into the rules of composition. These are just some basic rules that people follow to get the best out of their images. None of it's set in stone. You can learn it to break it. Do what you need to do with it. Whatever you like, whatever your style is, go with it, perfect it, make it yours. All right, first we're gonna start with simplify your scene. Do not put too much in your shot. All right, if you're photographing portraits, make sure that there's not too much taking away from your subject. If you're in a busy space, try to make the subject be the only person that's looking at your camera. Another example is, let's say you're photographing a maternity session outdoors. Make sure that there's nothing in the foreground or the background that's going to take away from your picture. Make sure that there's no dumpsters, no trash cans, no garbage, no people in the background or the foreground. That's going to really take away from your image. And that's going to be more that you need to do post-production if you do in fact want to take it out, which I can show you later. Rule of thirds. For starters, your camera should have a feature where your viewfinder can show you 9 boxes, 2 lines going horizontal and 2 going vertical. This makes it easier to center your image, or in this case, use your rule of thirds. Rule of thirds is a guideline for your composition where your subject takes up, you guessed it, 1 or 2/3 of the image. The photographer usually leaves space in the direction that the subject is looking in. This could be useful in street photography or landscape photography. You can mix it in with your portraits as well. All right, next, fill the frame. Get in there. Many times negative space is wasted space. I know I just said rule of thirds, leave space, but you also want to switch it up a little bit. Give your client variety. That's one of the most important things. Variety in the shots that you're giving to them. Next up, we have diagonal lines, also called leading lines. They're used to, you guessed it, lead your eye to the subject. It also creates depth. An easy way to get this effect is to have your subject leaning on some sort of wall and having the line of that wall lead your eyes to the subject. Its nerdy cousin is framing. What you want to do with framing is get your subject in front of a window or inside of a door frame. You can even get more super completely obvious and get a literal picture frame and put them inside of it. Now, before you go on to the rest of these lessons, I want you to stop, go out and see how much of this you're actually picking up. Put it to use, practice, learn them, break the rules, mix them together, go out and photograph people and things, go be creative. Cheat using a Pinterest board, like screenshot it, whatever you need to shoot. Who cares? Learning isn't enough. If I taught you basketball, would you go out there and be LeBron James? No. You need to practice, practice, practice. Put in the work. Practice, develop a workflow. The more you do this, the easier it is to handle your paying clients.